Hello, everyone. It's me, Mrs. Gronnert, and today I'm going to tell you the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack who lived with his mother in a small cottage. Jack and his mother were very poor. And the people of the village told a terrible story about how years ago, when Jack was just a baby, there was a terrible giant that killed Jack's father, ate him, and stole all of his possessions. Now, Jack and his mother lived in their cottage with only their cow, Milky White. And every day, Jack would go out in the morning, milk the cow, and take the milk to the village and sell it so that he and his mother would have food to eat. But one day, Milky White stopped giving milk. After 5 days, Jack and his mother were so hungry because they were not able to go and sell the milk and buy food to eat. So Jack's mother said to him, "Jack, my boy, you must take Milky White to the village and sell her. You need to sell her for at least $100 so that we can have enough money to live on for a while and have good food to eat." Jack said, "Oh, of course, Mother. I know I'll be able to get a lot of money for Milky White. I'm great selling things. I can do this." "All right, my boy. Please take the cow and go sell her." And that's exactly what Jack did. He went out that morning and took Milky White and went walking toward the village. Now, when Jack was about halfway to the village, he met a very strange looking man. The strange looking man said to him, "Hello, my boy. How are you today? It's nice to meet you, Jack." And Jack said, "Oh, well, hello. How are you?" "Oh, I'm fine. And what are you doing out here on your way to the village with a fine cow?" "Well, I'm taking her to sell her. Her name is Milky White, and she's the best cow you've ever seen." "Oh, she is, my boy. I would like to sell her for $100. $100. Why, she must be a wonderful cow, but I have something better than money. I have beans." "Beans? Do you think I'm dumb? Come on. I can't sell my cow for beans." "Oh, but my boy, these are not normal beans. Oh no, these are magical beans. Take these beans, plant them in the ground, and all of your dreams will come true." "Those are magic beans?" "Yes, I know my mom will be so proud of me for getting magic beans that will make our dreams come true for our cow, Milky White." So Jack gave the strange little man the cow, and he took the magical beans. He put them into his pocket and went running home to tell his mother. When he got home, he burst into the door and said, "Mother, mother, 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 you won't believe it. I got the best thing in the world for our cow, Milky White." "Oh, I'm so relieved. how much money did you get for her? $30? No, Mom, I got something so much better than money. I got magic beans. What? What did you say? Mommy, I got magical beans. Oh, you stupid boy, how could you? Go to your room right now. Close the door. There's no supper for you, and I'll take these beans and... Jack's mother threw the beans right out the window. And Jack went to bed that night without any supper. In the morning, he was so hungry. But when he awoke, he noticed something very strange. There was no light coming in from his window at all. It looked like it was still night. So he opened up his curtain and peeked out the window. Jack saw the most amazing thing. There was the largest, most enormous beanstalk growing from the ground, and it reached all the way past the clouds in the sky. Jack knew it must have been from the magic beans, so he jumped up out of bed, ran to the beanstalk, and started climbing. Jack climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed. He climbed that beanstalk for more than an hour. When he reached the top, he was above the clouds, and he saw a huge, enormous castle. Oh, Jack was so hungry by this time. He thought for certain the people living in the castle must have food to give him. So he went to the castle door and knocked on it. He could barely believe the person who opened the door was an enormous, giant woman. She opened the door and said, "Hello, boy, why are you here?" "Oh, please, ma'am, please. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten all night and all day yesterday, and I really need something to eat, please." "Oh, you don't want to come into this home. My husband eats boys like you for breakfast." "Oh, but please, I'm so very hungry. Please let me in." Well, the giant woman took pity on Jack and let him in. She took him over to the giant table that was in the house and made him a wonderful breakfast of eggs. And Jack ate until he was full. But after he'd been eating for a while, he heard a terrible, awful sound. It was booming and loud, and it said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Well, the giant woman took Jack and said, "Jack, you have to hide. My husband will eat you alive." And she took him and hid him inside the oven. The giant came into the room with his booming footsteps. And his wife said to him, "Oh, you don't smell a boy. You must smell the boy that you ate yesterday. Now sit down, I have your breakfast. So the giant sat down and began to eat. As he was eating, he said, "Woman, bring me my gold." So the giant woman brought a huge bag of gold to the giant and set it on the table. The giant began to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he began to snore. He snored so loudly that the entire castle began to shake. It was a terrible sound. Now, after he had fallen asleep, Jack peeked out of the oven, jumped out, and saw all of that gold. He grabbed the gold as quickly as he could and ran as fast as his legs could carry him down the beanstalk with the gold and climbed and climbed and climbed. And when he got home, he said, "Mother, mother, mother, look what I have, a bag of gold." And his mother said, "Why, Jack, you smart boy, where did that gold come from?" "Oh, mother, there's a beanstalk. Did you see it?" "Yes, I saw the beanstalk. I climbed it, and there was a giant castle, and the giant had gold. So I took it so that we could live and eat and be happy." Well, Jack's mother said, "That must be the giant who killed your father." "Oh, I bet it is. He eats boys like me for breakfast." "Oh, you must be careful, Jack. Let's save this money and use it." Well, Jack and his mother lived very happily with the bag of gold coins for about a year. But after a year, the gold had gone. They'd spent all the money on the food that they needed to eat, and they had no more money. So one day Jack went to his mother and said, "Mother, I have a feeling that giant has more of father's things." And his mother said, "Why, yes, Jack, I believe you're correct. I'm going to climb that beanstalk again so I can find father's things." "Why, yes, Jack, that's a good idea." So that day, Jack went outside and he climbed up the beanstalk again. And the same things happened as the time before. He knocked on the door. He told the giant woman how hungry he was. The giant woman let him in, sat him down at the table. He started eating. As he was eating, he heard a terrible sound, a booming, loud voice that said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." And the woman said, "Oh, darling, that must have been the boy you ate yesterday." She took Jack and hid him in the oven. The giant ate his breakfast. Then he said, "Woman, bring me my hen." And the giant woman brought him a hen. She set the hen down on the table, and the giant said to the hen, "Hen, lay." What Jack saw, he could barely believe. The hen laid 2 eggs of pure gold. It was incredible. Then the giant started to fall asleep and snore. When Jack knew the giant was sound asleep, he sneaked out of the oven, grabbed the hen, put it under his arm, and started running as fast as his legs could carry him to the beanstalk and climbing down and down and down and down and down. And he made it down to the bottom of the beanstalk with the hen who laid golden eggs. Oh, his mother was so happy, and she said, "Why, Jack, that is your father's hen. That giant must also have your father's golden harp, who sings like an angel." Jack said, "Mother, I'm going to go get that harp back for us tomorrow." So the next day, Jack decided to try his luck and climb that beanstalk again. He got up in the morning and climbed and climbed and climbed. Now, this time was different. When Jack got to the giant door, he didn't knock. He just slipped in, and then he went and hid behind a giant mop on the floor. As he was hiding, he heard a terrible booming noise. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Well, the giant woman said, "Why, that must be the boy who stole your hen. Let's find him." They looked everywhere for Jack, in the oven, under the table, by the chair, on the stove, in the cupboards. Luckily, they did not look behind the mop. So the woman said, "Why, darling, that must have been the boy you ate yesterday." And he sat down to eat his breakfast. As he was eating, he said, "Woman, bring me my harp." And the giant woman brought the most beautiful golden harp. When the giant finished eating, he said to the harp, "Sing." And the harp sang with the most beautiful voice that sounded just like an angel. La la loo, la la loo, oh my little star sweeper. As the harp was singing, the giant began to snore. As he snored, the castle began to shake with the terrible sound. And Jack knew it was his chance. He got out from behind the broom, climbed up the side of the table, and grabbed the harp. But Jack didn't realize the harp sang, and he started to run with the harp. As he was running with the harp began to call, "Giant, giant, help, save me, save me." And the giant woke up from his terrible sleep. He saw Jack running, and he started to run after him. "I will get you, boy!" And he ran as fast as he could. Luckily, Jack was fast. Jack ran, and he ran, and he ran, and he climbed, and he climbed, and climbed, and started climbing down. As he was climbing down, he called for his mother. "Mother, mother, mother, bring me the axe! Bring me the axe!" Jack was climbing down, and he could see a giant foot coming right above his head, almost touching him. He knew the giant was close, but he grabbed the axe and he started to chop and chop and chop and chop and chop until the beanstalk began to sway back and forth with the giant right there on it. It swayed and it swayed until the giant fell right down into the ground. Now, the giant was so huge and heavy that when he fell directly into a hole in the earth, and then the earth closed right back up over the top of him. And Jack now had all of his father's possessions returned to him. He had the hen who laid golden eggs and the harp that sang with a beautiful angelic voice. So Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed the story today, and I hope to see you again very soon.